This meal was created because my husband challenged me to create a Yucatanean meal, then added, "But of course it will not be low carb." Ha! Enough said. I am up to the challenge. This recipe comes from Rick Bayless, who owns several restaurants, is a TV chef, and a cookbook writer. I've linked to his website, and this recipe is in my blog. You can find the link in the description of this video. The blog also links to other recipes from this meal. This is the list of ingredients you will need to make the capered chicken recipe. I changed a few things. I ended up cutting the recipe down to 2/3 because I was only cooking for 2 people. I used regular diced tomatoes and added some chipotle seasoning. I used hatch peppers because they are in season and delicious. I used a combination of black and green olives, and I left out the raisins because, although they are delicious and I love them, they are not low carb. Also, next time I will cut up my chicken or use chicken tenders for this dish instead of whole breasts. I think this dish turned out great. We ate every bite.
It calls for 6 chicken breasts, but I cut everything down to 2/3 because there's only 2 of us eating this, and I'm browning them. And what else it calls for olive oil or vegetable oil. I'm using my avocado oil. 2 white onions, thinly sliced. Diced tomatoes. It says fire roasted or best. I love fire roasted tomatoes, but I don't have any. So what I'm going to do is just use regular diced tomatoes, and I'm going to spice it up with just a little bit of chipotle seasoning and just a little bit of chipotle, and I think that will make it. Maybe with a sprinkle of smoked paprika. It calls for pitted green olives. I just recently combined all my olives, and so I kind of just chopped up green and black olives that I had in the same bowl. I was kind of cleaning up my refrigerator and put them all in one jar. I do have the capers. They're not large capers, so I'm not chopping them. I'm just putting them in there plain. I am not putting in the raisins because raisins, other than that, this is just a plain recipe. It's not a special keto recipe, but it works with keto perfectly. The only thing I am changing is leaving out the raisins and kind of cutting down the quantity of it. But anyway, so I got these browning, and then I will put the onions and everything else on top of it and let it cook until it just gets wonderful. Ha! My husband just wandered through and told me, "You sure do know how to make a kitchen smell good." Yay! So I have the onions in the chicken, and those have cooked. And now I'm going to add the tomatoes. And I put all the little spices I mentioned before. Just a thing of paprika, a little bit of this chipotle, conricos, because I love this stuff. Chipotle seasoning. That will make it taste almost like fire roasted. And just a hint of chipotle pepper. Now, this called for me to roast and peel peppers, and I'm going to do something else that's a little different. These are hatch peppers from last year. Every year our store down the street, our research store, has hatch peppers from New Mexico. Wonderful peppers, and they roast them there at the store, outside of the store, and we go down and buy a big box. Last year we froze them all. This year I have a friend who said that they tried taking the roasted peppers and drying them, and we just bought a dryer, so we're going to do a little of both. But hatch peppers have been all over the place, and they're wonderful fresh, they're wonderful frozen, and I'll bet they will be wonderful dried. But instead of using the peppers that called for in the recipe, since I have these wonderful hatch peppers and it's about time. Actually, the big box we got was about right because we're almost out of them. But next week we get more. So they're a lot of trouble to prepare, but we use them all year. So now we have all this in here, and this cooks for a while. It's just cooking along. I'm actually letting it cook a little extra because I like, and I'm also tearing up, let me show you. I'm tearing up this chicken some. I think next time I do this, I'm going to cut it in smaller pieces or maybe long-wise so it'll be more like a pulled chicken. Because if we're going to put these in tacos, which I think we're going to do, I think that having it kind of pulled apart into long strips is going to be a better deal. So maybe even get those, not the chicken breasts, but the chicken tenders might be good for this. But I'm kind of going to pull it apart and let it cook a little longer until it's a little thicker, and but it looks and smells absolutely fantastic.